Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope. I am Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center, located at 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. So if you're ever in our area, we invite you to come and worship with us. Service begins at 10 a.m. We invite you to come and experience a better quality of life. And if you're not in our area, you can tune in for the Sunday sermon at 10:45 a.m. when we go live every Sunday on our YouTube channel at New Life Christian Center Pastor Pope. And we invite you to tune in and just really experience what God is doing in everyone's life. And of course, we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, throughout the week, 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And as some of you may have heard, I'm struggling with my allergies today, and I have been for a few weeks now. So you may hear me cough or sneeze, but bear with me because it's just that season for us here in this region. And as always, we are broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships, whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind. God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that's the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, which is brought to you daily by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew this blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just ordinary water. This is Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, and those of you who use the QR code or the links provided on YouTube and on Facebook, and those of you that are now using Zelle on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424, we thank all of you for your continued support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So I want to make certain that I get a couple of items out of the way today. Of course, we want you to stay connected with us throughout the week by tuning in to our internet radio station, WKAPfaith.com. We have some new offerings that are going to be coming soon, but we want to stay connected with you. The music we play 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, will encourage you, it will empower you, it will inspire you. So we want you to stay connected with us. Tune in 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year at WKAPfaith.com. Now, having said that, I want to remind everyone that we are sponsored by FijiWater.com. And so we want to encourage you to take advantage of the offerings that Fiji Water has. If you go to FijiWater.com, you will see the opportunity for subscriptions. Spring is here. Summer will be coming. There's going to be a lot of things going on, so we just want you to make certain that you are connected, that you stay connected, and that we have the opportunity to keep you connected with us. And the reason is because one of the next things that's going to be offered to our viewing audience, if you are a real estate investor, we are going to become your private money lender. We're going to make certain that funding is available for those who are interested in real estate. Whether you're interested in buying unoccupied real estate, or whether you are interested in purchasing commercial property, we're going to be doing some of that for you. We're going to make certain that everyone has the opportunity to prosper and have good success. But I'm going to keep you posted on as we move forward with the development process. But I'm going to tell you this, by the beginning of Q3, there are 41 states that we are going to be able to do this in, and you may be one of them. And that's just so that we remain in compliance. But I'm going to share more information with you as we go forward. By the third quarter, by the beginning of the third quarter, you will have the opportunity, if you are a real estate investor and you tune into the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, you're going to have the opportunity to have funding for your real estate projects. So stay tuned in. You don't want to miss this. I'll be giving you some details as we go along, as we go forward. But just know that we are really in the process of making certain everyone has the opportunity to prosper and have good success. One of the things you'll hear me talk about often is people building wealth. You know, as a community development corporation, and of course as a church, we want people to experience the fullness of God. We want people to have what God has spoken in His Word, which is to, first of all, be in great health, prosper, and be in great health even as your soul has prospered. We want everyone to be whole in their body, mind, and spirit. We want everyone to be complete. So we're going to be giving you some opportunity to accomplish that. You'll be able to contact us on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. So just stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. As we go forward, we're going to give you the opportunity to maximize, to experience the fullness of God, and to maximize your success. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers today. I'm going to address this. You said that you've heard previously me talk about running your life as a corporation, and you said you shared that information with your husband, and you said now the two of you continuously tune in to every broadcast. So I know you're tuned in today because you indicated that, you know, you're tuning in together now. You're obviously in different locations, but working, but you're taking time out to hear this. And this is important for everyone because this will help all of us maximize our household. See, the problem is that we have careers, we go to work every day, and we treat business as business because that's how we generate revenue for our lives. But we don't think about running our lives like a corporation, and we really have to focus on doing just that. You gotta use your household as the C-suite of your life. And what the C-suite means is the corporate chief suite. So you have to identify the roles that each person is going to perform in the C-suite of your life. You've got to decide who's going to do what in your household. What role is each person going to fulfill? And you have to decide that it's okay for each of you to serve in that chief position. And so I'm going to run through that today because this is real important. And if you're listening to the broadcast today, if you're viewing the broadcast today, this is going to be real important. I've talked about this previously, but I'm going back to this today because it's necessary. And so you've got to think about your life in this capacity. You are a corporation. There has to be a CEO, which is the Chief Executive Officer. There has to be a CFO, which is the Chief Financial Officer. There has to be a COO, which is the Chief Operating Officer. Then you have to have a CIO, which is the Chief Investment Officer in finance. If you were in any other type of business, it might be a Chief Information Officer, but the CIO in finance is your Chief Investment Officer. Then you have to have a CTO now in this day and age because you have to have a Chief Technology Officer to determine how you're going to brand yourself, how you're going to present yourself to the public. So the CEO is the Chief Executive Officer. It is the person who has the vision, who is casting the vision, implementing the vision, and moving the vision forward. That CEO only reports to the board of directors. And what that means is that all of you come together in your household and you make some decisions for how your household is going to be solvent, how your household is going to be effective, how your household is going to be efficient. That is the responsibility of the CEO. He's driving the vision. He's moving the vision forward. So, it's okay. The problem is that it's okay for one person to hold that title. The problem is that as adults, we sometimes get out of our lane. We get in conflict about who's casting the vision, who's implementing the vision, who's driving the vision. The CEO has that responsibility. So in our household, I serve as the CEO. And I'm married. I have a wife. It doesn't mean that because she's part of the advisory board, doesn't mean that she doesn't have opinion. But I have to draft a vision for my family. I have to draft the vision. Now our children are grown. They're on their own. They're living their own lives. They have careers. My son I have a daughter-in-law. My son is married, has 2 sons. But we're a family unit. So I'm still casting the vision for not only my own household, but for my family in its entirety. So I serve as the CEO. And my wife is the COO, the Chief Operating Officer of my household. She's the Chief Operating Officer. And the reason is because some of you have heard me say this before, and I'm getting to this really quickly because the CFO is the person who's handling the finances, and I'll get to that in a moment. But you may have two titles, but my wife is the COO, and so she's the person who determines when landscapers are going to start planting. She's the person who determines what we're going to eat. She's the person who determines if we were going to take a vacation. She's going to determine, when we're going to take a vacation, when we're going to take a break. She's the person who determines what goes on in our household on a daily basis. She determines, listen, even the simplest of things. She determines when the laundry is going to be done. She determines when the dishwasher is going to be loaded. She's the one who determines every aspect of operating our home. As the CEO, I don't have time to do that, nor do I have the desire. I'll just keep it real. And so she makes certain that all those things get done. But she makes certain that all things in the household run effectively and efficiently because she's the COO. We are also CIO, CTO. My wife's more interested in technology than I am. So she's the CTO, I'm the CIO, I'm the Chief Investment Officer, she's the Chief Technology Officer. To make certain that we get everything done effectively and efficiently. There have been moments over the course of our lives when my children were still at home or in college that we allowed them to participate. They were the Chief Technology Officers. My son and I we would be the ones talking about the investment, so we would Chief Investment Officers. So we learn to do those things, and we also learn to stay in our lane. I don't try to tell my wife what needs to be done in the household. She will tell me, and then I'll cut checks to contractors and what needs to be done to get done that I'm not going to do. But those are the responsibilities that are set aside. One of you have to decide who's best with the finances, And one of you is going to be responsible for being the chief financial officer. And you can't be afraid of that. Wives, you can't be afraid of your husband being chief financial officer if he's good with the finances. If your wife is better with the finances, she may be the chief financial officer, but you're the chief executive officer. Don't get out of your lane. You got to know what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what your opportunities and what your threats are. Why would you handle the money if you're not good with money? Whoever I'm talking to, wives or husbands. Why would you handle the money if you're not good with money? Why would you be the investment officer if you don't know anything about investing? Now, my whole family has taken an interest in investing, so that's not an issue for us. But that may be an issue for someone else. I'm not the technology expert. My wife is actually very interested in technology. But I don't get out of my lane, she doesn't get out of her lane. That's how we keep things running effectively and efficiently. That's how we maximize our opportunities. You've got to be willing to run your household like a corporation. And if you can do that, you're going to find that you will be able to build sustainable, long-term, sustainable success. But we have to be willing to get out of our own way. So whatever, and I know for you that sent in this communication, whatever you know you are strongest in, whatever category you are strongest in, take that role. The two of you should agree to the role you're going to take. You know, it's important that you understand what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what your opportunities are, what your threats are. So let me talk about that for a moment. SWOT analysis. You've got to be willing to do a SWOT analysis. Determine which one of you has what strengths. Determine what your weaknesses are so that you can strengthen one another. Then look at your opportunities. What opportunities do we have to move forward and to build a great quality of life? And then what are your threats, internally and externally? Are your threats your attitude? Are your threats your behavior? Are your threats external forces? You've got to be able to identify that. And then you have to eliminate, reduce the threats, maximize the opportunities. So this is all real important for each and every one of us. We want to take advantage of the corporate environment being placed in our home. We can't just run our homes off of emotions. We can't run our homes off of attitude. We can't run our homes off of our behaviors or lack of discipline. We have to run our homes like a legacy corporation, a corporation we want to last for 100 years. Or as I like to say, unto the fourth and fifth generation. That's what we should be building for, and that's what we should be working towards. And if we do that, God will do exceeding abundantly above all we can ask or think, according to the power of God that works in each of us and through each of us. And we will experience the fullness of God in all of our lives. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you're not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill. At T-Mobile, America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers. However, before I do that, I just want to remind everyone that this segment of the broadcast is going to be brought to you by PorscheAmerica.com. If you're in the market for a high-performance automobile, one of the finest high-performance automobiles ever manufactured, go to PorscheAmerica.com. you will have the opportunity to virtually build out the Porsche you desire to own. And if you're in our area, simply go to PorscheDelaware.com. Ask to speak to Mike Didio, who is the general manager at PorscheDelaware.com. He will have someone assist you in selecting the vehicle, the Porsche that you desire to own. And if you currently own a Porsche and are just in need of service, go to PorscheDelaware.com. Ask to speak to Mike Adams, who is the service manager at PorscheDelaware.com. He will have someone schedule an appointment for you. They will pick up your vehicle at your home or office, leave you a loaner vehicle, and return your vehicle to you when your service has been completed at PorscheDelaware.com. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated you want to have a child, however, you are not certain that you want to be married. You think that you want to be a single parent and wonder if co-parenting can be successful. Okay, let me say this. I know you're a millennial because only millennials think this way. That's not people of my baby boomer generation. We don't think that way. And the reason we don't think that way is because we understand the importance now of having two parents. Children, young adults, you're always going to be parenting. We understand the importance of that. Life happens to us all. But, however, let me say that. Being a single parent is not something that someone should choose. You're going to do whatever you want to do, but it's not good for you, and it's not good for your child. Life does happen, divorce does happen, because we join ourselves to people that God didn't join us to. And then when divorce happens, if we have children, we then are required to co-parent because they're minors. Okay. Don't choose to co-parent thinking that it can be successful. It can be successful temporarily, but that's not success. Success is when you can do something forevermore. Success is when you can do something and it doesn't come to an end. Co-parenting, yes, it wouldn't come to an end. You're both going to be responsible, but it's not going to be good for you and it's not going to be good for the child. And truth be told, it's not going to be good for the other co-parent. Are there exceptions to the rule? There's probably an exception to that rule for some co-parent somewhere in the world. And it's probably going to be, the exception to the rule is probably going to be someone who was married and is now divorced and is now co-parenting. But being single and co-parenting is not going to be successful long term. It's not sustainable because you've got two individuals raising a child with two different life experiences and two different methods of raising the child. See, what happens is that when you're married and you have children, you each bring your life experiences to the marriage. You bring maybe the way you were raised with some modifications, because obviously the way we were raised is baby boomers. We were raised in a generation when there was no such thing as child abuse. However, having said that, we've now become even more educated. We now are having our own experiences and relationships with the Lord. So we have a better understanding of how we want to raise our children. I'm not saying that we didn't survive, but what we've learned to do now is thrive. We survived our parents' generation of teaching, but we are now thriving in our own generation, because every generation is supposed to be better than the generation before them. What happens is that we really get a better understanding now of the importance of raising children, getting married, raising children, and then building a great quality of life. The way that we build a great quality of life is to nurture our children until they become of age. And then when they become of age, we help them to leave the nest. Because our goal as parents is to raise our children to the point where they no longer need us to provide for them, but we're here for them in the event that they need guidance, instruction, whatever that may look like. Now that doesn't imply, because I'm a firm believer that if a child, no matter how old they become, has a health issue and can no longer take care of themselves or their family, and I'm okay with everyone coming home. But I'm not an enabler. So I'm not going to interfere with what God is doing in their lives to develop them. I'm not going to interfere with that. But you're always going to be a parent if your children will allow you to be a parent. That's just what we've learned now as baby boomers in a relationship with the Lord. We've learned that now. So we're doing much better. But here's the reality. The reality is that theory that you have that is floating around in our society today is only temporary. It's a temporary solution for people who want to have children but don't want to be married. It's a temporary solution, which means it is only going to work temporarily. Why not do things decently in order? That's not success. Temporary is not success. Long term is success. Sustainability is success. Why not do things in the natural order of God, which is God, husband, wife, children. Family loved the Lord. Husband loved God. Husband leads wife. Wife honors husband, nurtures children, and they nurture and develop their children together. That's the natural order of God. But what's happened is we've gotten out of order with the way we live our lives. And the reason is because the world is teaching us to do things based on the shift of the world, the way the world moves. And that is what disrupts the quality of life. And the enemy has done that. We don't want to endure that any longer. We don't want to have that experience of life. We want a greater quality of life. We want a life that is filled with joy, peace, love, happiness, all of the things that God desires for us. So let's really line up with the natural order of God. Let's really line our lives up with the natural order of God. And here's what I will say to you. If you're willing to do that, you will meet someone who God has prepared for you, who is searching for you right now. Because he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor of the Lord. He will find you. You can then begin the process of relationship leading towards marriage. And then together you decide you're going to have children. You're going to build a great quality of life together. And to God be the glory. And when you give him the glory with the way you choose to love and the way you choose to live and the way you choose to love, then God will bless your union and he will give you the desires of your heart. He will bless you exceeding abundantly above all you can ask or think. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast, 3D, has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. Stay connected with us on our internet radio station, WKAPfaith.com. And remember what I said, you want to stay tuned in every day because you don't want to miss the announcements that we're going to be making moving forward. 4 months of this year have already gone by. And now we're in the process of trying to move forward in this year and finish this year out strong. But we want to make certain that everyone has the opportunity to do that. So we're going to be adding some things to your life that will allow you